If you're like most people, you probably noticed that the cost of living keeps going up, especially if you buy things like food, rent, or a car every month. Even worse, it seems like every day there's a new trend in consumer goods, and they're all more expensive than ever. When the dollar loses value in terms of buying power, inflation happens naturally and your wealth disappears. However, one currency and one commodity look on the opposite trajectory: gold. Warren Buffett knows how to help you. Warren Buffett is one of the most famous investors in the world. He has a net worth of over $100 billion, and Forbes magazine has called him the world's most powerful investor. What gave him that kind of power? Is it because he's so thoughtful, or does he have some unique insight into the markets or the nature of money? In this video, I'll show you a simple way to protect yourself from inflation and even use Warren Buffett's skills to your advantage. The silent killer is inflation. Inflation eats away at the value of the money in your savings and checking accounts because it steadily reduces the weight of your cash in American dollars. Even scarier, the government likes inflation because it helps them pay back the loans they took out with interest to pay for things like wars, roads, and schools. Dollars are a tool that governments use to build things. With inflation, they can make all the money they borrowed go further and make each dollar buy less. When there isn't enough of something, like money, you'll need more money to buy the same things you bought before. But the government can print as much money as they want, so you'll need more cash to keep doing things or save your life comfortably. Inflation is a tax on us that makes it harder for you to make a living, especially if you own a business. Prices usually go up in two ways. First, a good may become scarce but not go away completely. This is a supply and demand issue. If people want something, they may be willing to pay more for it. Lately, this has been happening with gas and food, which are cheaper in other countries but hard to get here. On April 30, 2022, investors have no control over inflation. Warren Buffett warned investors that inflation swindles almost everyone. Prices are going up, so what you can buy with $1 now is less than what you could buy with $1 a year or two ago. Market changes and major world events are out of the control of a single investor, so investors should focus on what they can control. Buffett would say that investing over the long term is often the best way to make money. Index funds are what Warren Buffett says you should buy. Warren Buffett is a big fan of index funds, which are packages of investments that mirror a certain market index, like the S&P 500 in May 2022. Buffett said that, in his opinion, the best thing for most people to do is to buy the S&P 500 index fund. You can buy a diversified piece of a market or sector with low-cost index funds, which are often cheaper than actively managed funds. This spreads the risk of your assets, which is important in times of turmoil. Most people don't realize that to make money, you have to be able to predict the future. There are huge opportunities when you can spot important trends before they happen. For example, we can only know when the next Amazon or Facebook will be created if we can predict the future. That's why when you subscribe and turn on the notifications button, you'll get daily market trends on what to avoid and how to avoid any market downturn, which can be very valuable. When asked about stock selection, putting more money into something that might not do well in the long run won't add as much to your portfolio. Buffett replied to Charlie Munger, vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, "I don't have the foggiest idea what the stock market will do when it opens on Monday, and neither do you. I don't think either of us has ever suggested or even thought about buying or selling based on what the market is likely to do or what the future holds for the economy. We don't even know how to start investing in index funds. Choose an index like the S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Average, Nasdaq Composite, or Wilshire 5000 and a fund that tracks that index." When deciding whether or not to buy an index fund, many investors look at the expense ratio, which is the annual cost as a percentage of the portfolio. When you're ready to buy, you can use a brokerage account or an IRA. Two places to invest index funds could also be accessed through pension plans for independent contractors, such as 401(k)s. Warren Buffett told Forbes magazine that people should buy stocks because they want to control them, not just because they want the price of the stock to go up. One way to decide where and when to invest is to look at a company's value. For example, Buffett said that Berkshire Hathaway bought 15 million shares during this year's annual conference. The purchase is one of the most recent examples of Buffett's method, which is to buy undervalued shares at a good price instead of stocks with a lot of growth potential. Even if you only have $100 or $1,000 to invest, it's important to choose investments based on your beliefs. For example, how has the company been doing? What does the company's future look like? Forbes says that ESG investing is when investors choose to put their money into businesses that do well in terms of the environment, society, and democratic accountability. Reliable third-party firms and research organizations give these businesses their grades. Some people think it's a waste of money to spend money on themselves by taking classes, learning new skills, working on their business, and a million other ways to get better. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, said, "If you think education is expensive, try ignorance." I think you can apply that to any part of your life, but especially to your career. If you don't invest in yourself and spend time getting smarter, you might regret it later. Investing in yourself is important not only because it makes you better at your job, but also because it helps your bottom line. Warren Buffett has said that building skills is a way to fight inflation before. In 2009, when the country was still trying to recover from the Great Recession, he gave the same speech to the Council on Foreign Relations. In his speech at the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholders meeting in 2022, Buffett repeated his time-tested advice that one of the best ways to fight inflation is to improve your skills and try to be the best in your field. Buffett said that, unlike money, skills are not affected by inflation. He said that if you have a skill that is in demand, it will always be so, no matter how much money is worth. He also said that skills can't be stolen and can't be inflated away from you. He said that anything you develop yourself is the best investment because it's tax-free. The more you learn and the more education you have, the better off you will be. There will always be new technology, and people who are educated and smart get to use it first. This is why it's important to invest in yourself, because when technology changes and things move quickly in your industry, if you don't keep up, you'll fall behind. What skills are you good at? Have you mastered coding, website design, online writing? It's time to be frugal, it's time to spend less and save more to invest. We all spend money every day, and it's the most important way we exchange value with the world. However, most of us don't have a plan for how we spend money, and most of us don't spend much time thinking about it. We need to change that. Making a budget is more about being aware of how you spend your money than it is about following rules. You have to look at where your money is going, put everything into categories, and be honest with yourself. Then you can come up with a plan to change the habits that lead to money problems. If you have credit card debt or pay high interest rates, your interest payments are probably bigger than your mortgage payment. Take a look at how you spend your money. If inflation makes it hard to stay on budget, you should take the time to look at your cash flow and where it's going. Things like a place to live, food, transportation, and utilities are taken care of. Are you using your gym membership? Are your subscriptions being used? How much do you spend on basic things every month? How much is your rent? What is the cost of your electricity? The next video I'll give you tips on how to go through your budget each month to make sure you're spending your money in the best way to help you reach your financial goals and become a millionaire in the future. Till then, I guess I'll see you on my next video.